Hi, this is Mads Langer, and you're watching Entertainment Focus.
How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, just got back to London after a show yesterday in Manchester, so it's nice to be back in London.
And you've been on the road with a feeling. What's that been like?
It's been great. They are really nice guys, and yeah, it's been great to play to the audience around the country. They've the Feelings audience have really taken me in. I've sold a lot of CDs. After the shows, I've gone out to the merch desk and sold CDs and spoken to the fans. It's been really great.
And what have the crowd reactions been like?
It's been great. I mean, to most of them, I was completely unknown on beforehand, so it's been great to sort of win them over. Every night is like in the beginning of the set, they stand there talking a little bit, and by the end of the set, they were applauding. So it was really nice.
Yeah, so I was saying to you just before this, we saw you at Borderline,
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think is really good about you and quite unique is you can stand there with a guitar and completely have the room in silence. I think it was the most quiet gig I've ever been to.
Yeah.
So did you find that once you started playing that people did become quieter and just actually pay attention to what you were doing?
Say that again.
Did you find that people, you were saying they started off
Yeah.
chatting, did you find that once you actually started playing and singing, they were kind
Yeah.
of, you got
Yeah.
their attention?
They did, and then it's a great feeling when you see a crowd start focusing on your music. That thing happening is just amazing as an artist to experience.
Is it frustrating when you're warming up for somebody else and people are talking? Do you find that frustrating that they're not paying
I
attention?
I find it challenging, and it's the victory is even bigger when you then win them over and they stop talking and start listening, and that's basically what almost happens every night on this tour with the Feeling. So that's really, really great, and it means that a lot of new people will know of me and my music, and hopefully keep spreading the word.
So let's talk about the album. It's called Behold. As I was saying to you, I'm a big fan of it. I think it's a great record. So tell us a bit about it. How did it come about?
Well, you could say that Behold is it's my first international album. In many ways, it feels like it is my first album in general. I mean, I put out 2 records in Denmark before. It's an album that I've written 80 songs for the album and picked out my 12 favorites. And it's an album full of songs that are very close to my heart. It's all very heartfelt, and yes, I've been searching and for the sound of Mads Langer throughout my whole life, and on Behold I feel I'm sort of capturing how I want to sound, and it's an album that I think it's quite broad. It both has the very intimate acoustic songs and the bigger songs with the full band feeling. Yeah, and it represents me very much as a person and as a songwriter and as an artist. So yeah, I'm really proud of the album, really, really happy with the way it turned out.
Because for me, I think the first time that I listened to it, I hadn't heard of you prior to it. I'd heard the song The River Has Run Wild on the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
And immediately when I listened to it, I felt captivated by it. I felt it really affected me.
Yeah.
And like you say, it is quite a personal album. Did you set out with the aim of writing something that people could relate to, or was it just what you were feeling at the time?
Well, I think that's the way I write as an artist. I don't, in the beginning, I don't try to please anyone when I write. It's just my style of writing to be very direct, and that's one of the biggest things that you can achieve as an artist. I think is when you affect people. So I just feel so grateful that what affects me in the first place actually affects other people as well. But I really try to, it's key to me to always be real, never be fake, always to mean every word and every note I sing, and I guess that's one of my sort of trademarks that you can always count on the fact that I'm real. I'm always in my heart when I'm in my music, yeah. So I'm really glad that it comes across.
Yeah, I think by the time I get to Death Has Fallen in Love, I'm pretty much in pieces, I think. On the floor. I feel really, really... I think it's beautiful, but as I say, I just find it really, really affects me.
Yeah.
It's kind of... I would put it along kind of Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, the kind of albums that feel very personal, even though obviously they're not about the listener.
Yeah.
So let's talk about The River Has Run Wild, just saying it was in the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
How did that change things for you?
Well, the Vampire Diaries is out all over the world, and I think the way they have put it into the series is serves my song extremely well. The pictures sort of take the song to a whole new level. So I've had a lot of response from all over the world, from people who sort of discovered me through the TV show, and yeah, I'm just very grateful again that this thing happened. So it has definitely added a whole new layer to my career.
And do you think that you'll do more putting your music into TV, or are you just going to kind of see what comes along?
That's a big plan, dream of mine to do that. I think, you know, I've had 3 songs in the Vampire Diaries so far, and I think, and also in other big American TV shows, and I think it seems like my music is quite good for that. For some reason, it does something good when you get pictures on it.
I think it's like we were talking earlier, because it's relatable.
Yeah.
And the Vampire Diaries is very emotional, character-driven show, so it's hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
So what would you say is your favourite song on the record?
Well, if I were to pick one, I'd say The River Has Run Wild. Because it represents the whole album, I think, in the sense that it starts out acoustically and builds up to the big finale with the full band on, and it's just, you know, it's 6 minutes long, so it sort of has a lot of it's a long storyline in it, and it's one of those songs, you know, I played all the instruments on the album myself and produced it myself. And it has a story. I mean, it's the first song I saw on a big American TV show. It's the first song I recorded for the album, and in many ways it sort of represents Behold very well.
One of the things that I remember from the gig at the Borderline, you were talking about the song Microscope, and you were saying you didn't really know what that word meant when you wrote that song.
Yeah.
Is English speaking and writing in English, is that something that's newer to you, or is...
No, I mean, I've been speaking English since I was 4 years old, so it's my second language, but it's very close to my heart as well, and I think, you know, English is it's amazing when it comes to writing lyrics. It has so many layers and so many beautiful words, and to me it's really an instrument in itself, the language. And I keep exploring the language, keep playing around with poems, with poetry in general, and I've been writing and speaking English since I was 4 years old, as I said. So it's something I've done always, but it keeps growing, the universe of English, because the more you understand, the more you also understand how big it is and how many opportunities there is in the language.
So it's going back to live, obviously, with Feeling tomorrow night in London. How do you feel about that show? Is it your biggest one in London so far?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, I'm very excited. I always wanted to play the Shepherd's Bush, so it's going to be great to be on that stage and play my songs. It's the last show on the tour. A little bit sad about that, because it's been so great touring the UK, but I'll come back next year as a headliner and tour again.
Do you have any solid plans yet, or are you in the planning stage of when you're coming back?
We're planning the whole next year right now, and UK is part of it, big part of it. I mean, it's my second home, so obviously I want to focus on UK.
So tell me, what do you do when you're not performing? How do you spend your time and relax and unwind?
Yeah, well, the last year it's been basically a life in a suitcase traveling around. So whenever I'm not on stage, I read books, I write new songs, I watch the news, walk around different cities of the world, and just discovering how life is, whatever in Madrid or in Newcastle. Or, yeah, and then I mean, privately I'm pretty much a down to earth guy who just likes being with friends, family, and just do normal stuff.
And can you still do normal stuff back home, or do you get recognised when you're out and about?
Yeah, well, I get recognized, but I try to just keep doing normal stuff, and I am a private person, so I don't go out that much. Yeah, but I have my fans are really nice, so it's not like they're hysterical when they see me in the streets. They always come up to me in a very nice way and just say hello. So I've never had sort of bad experiences with fans.
That's good. You don't want anybody hysterically screaming at you in the street, do you?
No.
So my last question for you is, where do you hope that your music goes over the next 12 months? Do you want to take it across the entire world? Is it a specific territory you want to have success in?
Well, I've been working on Europe and the UK the last year, and I think I'm going to focus on building an even stronger platform here. The US is also on the radar right now, but we'll see. I mean, so much good stuff is going on in Europe right now, and I'd like to follow up and everything and come back to every place I've been so far and keep building. And yeah, I just really try to deliver and do my best every day, and I hope that in 12 months' time I've spread the word even further out there, and and maybe in 12 months' time it's time to put out a new record. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.